Today is September 14th, 2022. My name is Rob Carr of Calvin with the Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today. First, West Virginia has become, or will become, the 16th state to ban almost all abortions. Yesterday, their state Senate voted 22-7, which is a pretty good number, to ban all abortions except for those that are for medical emergencies or ectopic pregnancies. The bill also does have exceptions for incest or sexual assault, but there are limitations to that exception. If you're an adult who has a pregnancy from incest or like rape, you have 8 weeks to apply for that exemption. And if you're a minor, you'll have 14 weeks to apply for that exemption. And so the vote in the Senate was 22-7. And then immediately after that, the state House voted 78-17. Well, that is a clear majority. You can really see there that West Virginia is a very, very conservative and a very pro-life state. And the governor's name is Jim Justice. What a great name when you think about the unborn baby finally getting some justice in West Virginia. But Governor Justice has said that he will sign this piece of legislation into law, and West Virginia becomes the 16th state to ban almost all abortions. Now, I was looking at lifenews.com. It's a great pro-life website, lifenews.com. And there was an article about pro-life leader Lila Rose, who's the president and founder of Live Action. She was on the Dr. Phil show, apparently on Monday. And, needless to say, she faced a hostile audience, as well as a hostile host in Dr. Phil. And so if I don't have the ability here to show you all of the clips, but if you go on the lifenews.com website, you'll see several different short clips provided by Live Action, where she is challenging some of the pro-abortion positions. And, one was that Dr. Phil said that the medical science or the medical community does not have a consensus on when life begins, when human life begins. And she obviously said, "You're wrong. You're wrong, Dr. Phil. The medical community is in full agreement that life begins at conception. When sperm fertilizes egg, that is when life begins." And he said, "No, that really is not true." And when you're a doctor and you're challenging a non-physician, somehow your MD after your name supposedly gives you more credibility with the audience. Well, Dr. Phil is pro-choice, pro-abortion, and he has a position to uphold, supporting abortion on demand. But he's wrong. 95% of all medical textbooks and medical schools and doctors have all confirmed that life begins at fertilization, at conception. That's just the way it is, Dr. Phil. And I know you've got a political bias, and that clearly came out. But praise God that Lila Rose did not backpedal one bit. She was determined to get her point across. And then there was also a Planned Parenthood spokesperson who was obviously challenging everything Lila Rose was saying. And Lila challenged Planned Parenthood and by saying that the organization supports abortion up to the moment of birth. Is that not true? She asked the pro-abortion, the Planned Parenthood woman. And the spokesperson, she deflected the question And she came back to the stock answer that you hear all the time, that we support a woman's right to make medical decisions about her life and her health care and her pregnancy. So then Lila asked her again, so does Planned Parenthood support abortion up to the moment of birth, up to the due date? And this woman gave this stock answer again, that we support women's ability to make their own reproductive health care decisions, which basically means, yes, Planned Parenthood does support abortion, however rare it is. But Planned Parenthood does support abortion up to the 9th month of pregnancy, well past viability, whatever that means, well past viability. So this kind of leads into my last little topic here, talking about the issue here in Michigan with the Reproductive Freedom for All's Proposal 3 that we are fighting, we are challenging. The Citizens to Support Michigan Women and Children. It's the coalition to fight against this referendum, Proposal 3. And here again on lifenews.com, I did see a 30-second commercial, a video that our side has put together. And the point they're making is, it's a simple one, that if this referendum passes in November, it will repeal 41 pro-life laws that have been on the books for 20, 30, even 40 years. And they listed four laws that would be repealed. The first thing was parental consent, which the vast majority of Americans, even people who are pro-choice, support parental consent. The next, partial birth abortion. Our ban would be nullified, and partial birth abortions would be legal in Michigan. Abortion clinic safety standards. Remember though, Dr. Kermit Gosnell back in Philadelphia about 7 or 8 years ago, who's now going to prison for killing a woman in a late-term abortion, as well as killing babies who were aborted alive and then he killed them. Well, his clinic had not been inspected for 17 years. And somehow the pro-abortion people say, well, he's just an outlier. His clinic was an outlier. That is not true. A lot of clinics in our country have gone 10, 15, 20 years without having health inspectors check out these clinics. So these safety standards, which would include inspecting clinics, that would be repealed. That would be nullified. And the last one is we have a law that says that only MDs, only medical doctors, can perform abortions. Well, like I mentioned to you last time, the way this is worded, that only a healthcare professional could perform an abortion in Michigan. And a healthcare professional is any person who is a healthcare professional, a social worker, a medical doctor, a physician's assistant. I mentioned a dentist before, a podiatrist, an ophthalmologist. Anybody who's a healthcare professional could now perform an abortion. So, and then three different people came on at the end of the commercial, and one person said, that I think they're trying to trick us, which is true, which is absolutely true. The pro-abortion side is trying to confuse you and convince you to somehow think that legal abortion is by far has the support of the overwhelming majority of Michiganders, and that is not true. And they're going to trick you into somehow thinking that our laws may still be on the books when they will not. Parents will no longer have the right to make decisions for their minor children. They will lose that right. Medical doctors will not be the only persons performing abortions. Abortion clinics will go unregulated for decades. And partial birth abortion will be legal in Michigan. These are bad things. This law is too dangerous, too extreme, and the wording is way too vague. So vote no on Proposal 3. Vote no on Proposal 3. With that, I will let you go, and I'll see you next time.